Okay, so we're going to show you the slurry demo test here, and what we have here is about 50 gallons of slurry water that we've created. We're going to process that 50 gallons through the Ermator W2000, and we're going to dump it over here in this dry tank. And we're going to show you how clean the water is, making it safe and reusable for machines, for auto scrubbers, for anything else, as well as this water here can be processed over and over and over again, which will allow your crews to stay working. So the two-part components that we have to this is the gray water tank system and the Poseidon super separator. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop in to this tank here, and you can see the intake valve here. What we're going to do is we're going to just sprinkle in, just like this, the super separator. And what this does is it pre-charges the tank, giving it the ability to separate and precipitate the solids to the bottom as the slurry water enters into the system. The system's really easy to use. We're going to lock the tank into place, just like that. The intake hose here, this is where it comes from the machine or floor. We're going to go ahead and dump this into the water here. And how the system works is that you have the vac system and you have the pump system. So we're going to turn the pump system on first. Now the hose bib down here is turned off. So like we talked about earlier, this system is designed to allow little to all the water that you want using this key here. Then we're going to turn on the vac system and show you how this thing works. So here we go. Okay, so we've got the slurry water that we're producing right here. We're sucking it up, putting it into the gray water tank. As this is filtering, you'll see we're going to be processing this slurry in real time. So I'm going to drop that hose into the tank right here. I'm going to go check out the water on this end. As you can see, we've got very clear water. This material is clean enough to where it can be used back on the job site. As we suck up the slurry and it's being processed, the filtration bag is picking up all the fine particles. Also, you can see that the process is happening in real time. So as fast as the machine can suck it up, as fast as it's being filtered and then reused back onto the floor. So I'm going to go ahead and put the hose at the bottom of the tank and get as much of these slurry solids as possible. But you can see the difference between the slurry water and the clarified water. So I want you to take a good look at what's happening here. Is that we've got slurry water that we're sucking up into the tank system here. And as it's being produced back into the buckets, this water is clear. So as you can see, guys, this slurry water that's in this first tank, we're talking 50 gallons, is dirty, slurry water that we're producing right now into the machine. I've turned the volume of the vac down so we can show you sort of a lower environment of how fast and slow this water can be processed. But again, when you're talking about taking this type of material and being able to reuse it, you can see that this material here is very clear. It's very clean as well. So this allows us to be able to reuse this back into the job site machineries. Okay, so now we're getting down to the bottom of this tank where just naturally the precipitated solids have hit the bottom, and we're going to start sucking up some of the dirty water. But you can see right now, we have over here in the gray tank, the clear water system, is that we have clear water, free of grit and debris. This material here is safe to go back into the job site machineries. It's still discolored, and that's normal. That's just the real microfines. That's not a problem. What becomes an issue is the heavy grit that exists in slurry. But this water is what we call clean water. Okay? So as we go back into the tank here, you can see we're getting down to the bottom. We're going to start suck up some of the heavy solids. But as we look on the output, the water is clean. No sand, no grit, no aggregate, no heavy solids from the slurry. We just have clear water that can be reused. Isn't that amazing? So let's go ahead and shut the system off, and let's take a look at the filtration bags and see what we've got collected in there and show you what was happening during this time of recycling. As you can see here, the upper filter system, this metal mesh tank, was able to collect the heavy fines that we were sucking off the bottom, which keeps this out of your filter bag. So this protects your vac system. It gives you longevity on the filter bag and provides you a second level of filter protection. As you can see here in the gray water tank, we have very much the same materials here. At the bottom of this tank is all of the solids, which would be the cement solids that were produced. And we're going to show you how to process this tank as well when we're all finished. As of right now, we're going to go to the actual vac system and take a look at the vac bag and see what we have here. For safety reasons, I'm going to put the lid back on here so nobody trips and falls. Very easy to do. And so we're going to pop this guy open here. Best thing to do is when you open this thing up is to hold on to the filter strap. Just makes it easier to grab the filter bag when you pop it open. Single hand use on the lid and the pan protection. And as we look inside here, you'll see we have our filter bag here. And inside this bag is the processed materials. So as you take a look here inside, we've got the filtration bag that we just pulled out. Inside here is the slurry materials. These are the slurry solids that we have captured. It's inside this fabric bag. You can see really quickly the sump pump that we have in here, industrial grade. It's oil primed. There is the intake valve for the autofill. We have a float device at the bottom down here that also detects the level of the water so the vacuum system maintains. But this bag here now is ready for disposal. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take the remaining water out of this front tank here, process it, so that way we can capture all of the solid materials that we can, and then we're going to dispose of the remaining water. Now this water is clean enough where we can dispose it in a standard soil area. This is one way to get rid of the moisture. Second, we're going to show you how to solidify the remaining fluids using the Poseidon Super Absorb material. So let's go ahead and clean out the gray water tank and show you how to finish this project up. So I'm going to disconnect this, which is the vac system, and I'm going to now take all the remaining solids that are inside this tank, and we're going to process them back into the clear water tank over here. So I'm going to open up my valve again, make sure I have the right water flow. I'm going to turn on the system, and we're going to start sucking it up. So what we've done here is we've taken out the remaining amount of water here, and you can see in the bottom of this tank now we're left with this slurry waste product here. So what we're going to do is we're going to solidify this using the Poseidon Super Absorb material to show you how to make this material become compliant for standard disposal. In the front tank here, our bag is full. We've got our clean water over here that we're going to dispose of properly here in just a little bit. But this shows you the mechanics behind how to process this and clean up at your job site. And now this bag here is ready for removal. So you can see as you pull this out, this bag can be a little heavy with some of the remaining waters here, but that's okay. It'll slowly drain out. This allows this to be pulled directly out and put into a standard bucket, which we're going to do here and show you how to solidify the remains. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take the remaining heavy solids out of this and dump this back in the tank here. That way it just gives us a chance to clean up all this material at one time. And we're going to take a little bit, in this particular case here, we're only going to need maybe about a cup, maybe a cup and a half of the Poseidon Super Absorb. And this material here we're going to shake into here, and we're just going to lightly broadcast it on the top. If you can evenly coat it on top, that makes it better. And what this material does is it's going to soak up all the H2O out of the remaining slurry material. It's going to produce a dry material that we can actually dump in standard trash cans. One of the major requirements is the paint filter test. What this says is that any liquids that go into the landfill, if it can pass through a paint filter, it's illegally able to be dumped into a landfill. Now, we do have to deal with some toxic materials like heavy metals. If you're working in a plating shop or a metal fabrication shop, there's always exceptions to this rule here. So you want to make sure that if you are working in an industrial area that has strict regulations, make sure you get the material tested so we know how to properly dispose of it. But if you're in a standard application, this material here is dry and ready to go. It is the wet slurry that we just saw a second ago, which is now in a dry format. As you can see on my hands, it's completely clean. That material can go directly into the trash can. We're going to do the same thing with the filter bag over here. We're going to put the filter bag into a bucket and we're going to process it the same. So we've taken the filter bag out of the vac system in the front, and we're just going to use standard scissors here, and we're going to cut open this bag. So the nice thing about this is that this system is pretty self-contained. So as you can see inside here, we've got a lot of the slurry that's been collected. I set it on top of the solidified materials right here, and this is absorbing the water as we go. So what we're going to want to do is we want to solidify this material here. So what we're going to be using is the super absorbent material here, and we're just going to dump it in the bag here. And what this is going to do is just kind of roll this around. And this material is going to dehydrate again the water that's inside this bag, creating a dry material. As you can see, now this material is drying up. It's coming to a granular powder material, and again, making it safe for standard disposal. You know, it's again fairly clean. My hands are a little wet from me sticking my hand in there, but as you can see, it doesn't continue to get dirty. So this material here can go into a standard dumpster. We recommend that you put the solidified remains in a plastic bag, and just you can dispose of it directly into a standard trash can, a dumpster, anywhere that on site you can dispose of standard waste. So as you see, this bag system is pretty easy to use. Just throw it right away. You can also take the remains of the first gray water tank, put it in your bag, and you're all finished. So there we have it. We've just finished up doing a demonstration of 50 gallons of slurry water that we had, processed it, and created clean water at the back end after the vac system was able to filter it. This system is highly efficient, very cost effective, and it will change the way you do your business. For more information, you can contact Ken Paddock at 858-633-8171 or Rafael Cabrera at 760-828-2313. Or you can contact us on email, ken@joecrete.com and Raphael@joecrete.com. If you have any questions, we'd be glad to help. We're going to be showing this machine at the World of Concrete 2013. Come by to our booth and take a look at it, and we'll let you know local distributors that'll be stocking this. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.